Welcome to the North Bank for the big Sunday show. I'm sure this one will be quite interesting after some controversy at the weekend. To help me analyse it and break it all down, we have Des, the enforcer. How are you, bro?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
You good? Um, I think we'll have a fair bit to speak about tonight regarding yesterday's
Yeah,
game.
yeah. One point that can expand in particular, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, to start kicking the show off, we'll get into it bit by bit. To start the show off and get going. Arsenal v Brighton, early kick off on Saturday, 12:30 kick off. Team news comes out, and there's one change: Trossard in for Martinelli. What was your thoughts on that, bro?
Well, after the last game, I thought that was going to happen, so that was no surprise to me, to be honest with you. And I think he deserved it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree with that.
so yeah, it was a case of let the boy play, and he did. I thought he did really well in the game. I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
Um, could have been, could have. I mean, he could have had an assist, but we'll talk about that in a minute. He could have had an assist, So
yeah,
I mean, the first 10 minutes, Mark, Arsenal were on fire. I thought Saka was going to score in the first 10 minutes,
yeah.
and he was getting down that byline, no problem. That the young 19-year-old that was marking him had no idea, did he?
No, he didn't at all. The next point I was going to pick up, obviously, we sold Aaron Ramsdale on Friday to Southampton. We brought in Neto, and we had an 18-year-old goalkeeper as number two in Stepford. Does that concern you?
Yeah, I think to be honest, Ray has got to stay fit all season, and I'm not taking anything away from Neto, right, or Stepford, but I would have rather had Ramsdale sitting there personally than these two guys,
Yeah,
because if you put Ramsdale, even if now if you're looking at it, if you put Ramsdale in goal when Raya can't be, you're not dropping many levels.
yeah.
See, I don't really know anything about Neto, and I don't really know anything about Stepford, so you could be dropping levels, and if you're trying to win this season, that could be a big difference.
100%. The one thing that I heard, and it's maybe unfair, so we'll see as the season progresses. But the one thing that I've been told of some Bournemouth fans, etc., is Neto can't catch a cold, so it doesn't fill me with much confidence going in. But certainly for the games, I think including international games, there's something like 60 games that these players could play. So with the new format of the Champions League, etc., I think we could have gave Ramsdale a fair bit of game time. However, it's not to be. It's not to be, and it's done.
I think it was.
First, ten.
I think it was a mistake, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. To go into the first 10 minutes, like you said, Arsenal started off really decent. Saka had in the first 2 minutes, he hits the byline. Nothing came of it, but it was a really promising start. Were you happy with the way that Saka started and how sharp he looked?
Yeah, yeah, I was. Yeah, I thought he was back to what he can do, and he he just didn't put his foot through it, did he?
Yeah,
If he'd have put his foot through it, I think he would have scored.
yeah,
So and then he did do put in two crosses, and I think Havertz could have scored off of one of those. But he didn't put his foot through it. He tried to pass it past the keeper, and the rest is history.
yeah, absolutely. In the fourth minute, there was a mistake by Saliba, and Partey was there to mop up. I
Mm.
actually felt that Saliba had maybe a slightly shaky, especially the opening, but I thought he was quite shaky. Did you read anything into that at all?
No, not really. He was more shaky when we went down to 10. Him and Gabriel. We
Yeah,
like um, No, I didn't really notice it in the beginning of the match, but again, we'll get to that point probably in a minute, won't we? So,
Yeah, we will. I'm breaking the whole thing down. In the fifth minute, Trossard shows justification why he was brought in. He puts he gets the ball, runs down the flank, crosses over to Havertz, but there was slightly too much on the end of it. So you
yeah,
just and that seemed to be the way Trossard. It could be rustiness because of like just getting up to speed. I don't know how you feel about that.
well, was that also when Ben White put that crossball over? Was that when he put the crossball over to him from like 45 yards away?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah,
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 it was pinpoint, wasn't it?
it
It was,
was. Ben White was outstanding
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
and that ball
Yeah,
was
what a pass to get that move going. Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, just a little bit too much on it. If it hadn't have
It
been so
just
strong, I think Hazard would have had one.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's maybe just the lack of game time. Would you agree with that? That like Trossard not starting, he's only
I
had
don't know if it's lack of game time because then uh, he's hit the ground running. He did last week. You know, I mean, first touch
yeah,
goal.
he's
You know what I mean.
yeah,
He's hit the ground. He's hit the ground running. It was just these. It's just too much power, Mark. I don't
yeah,
think it's rust or anything like that. It just just misjudged it.
yeah. Back into the first 10 minutes, Saka doing what he's doing. I actually thought Saka, he's already started with these goals and assists. He's assisted in every game so far this season. Um, he gets brought down on the edge of the box. It was a pretty bad free kick. But again, did you feel that Saka? He really looked like he looks like the one that's possibly getting up to match fitness
Yeah, yeah.
quicker.
That another yard and well, another couple of feet. That would have been a penalty
Yeah, no, definitely. It was
because
right on the edge of the box.
it was only just outside, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
it was definitely a foul.
yeah.
Um, it's just it's fine margins, isn't it? Fine margins.
Right. No, 100%. 13th minute, Brighton have their first proper opportunity. Ball cross gets crossed into the back post. Timber's been beat at the back post, and Rhea makes the save. But did you feel worried at all, like at at
Do you
that
know
point?
what? Well, I've got to be honest. The way Ray has been playing, I was like, not bothered.
No
Yeah,
bother, Jay.
not bothered. I was like, yeah, he's got it. Um, I know that's a bit of a blunt answer, but genuinely, I just thought, no, we're too solid. It's I don't. I'm more worried that it's going to make me feel a bit complacent throughout the season, but because we feel so solid at the back, if
Yeah,
someone does attack, they've got to have a proper good shot on goal to, you know. So I just think he's got it covered all the time, or the defenders have got it covered. But obviously, defenders can get stripped, and it's just how it was. Um, I've got to say that Matoma is a good little player for Brighton.
he was outstanding.
Um,
I thought he was outstanding,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. So no, no. For some reason, at the moment, I'm not scared if they get an attack. It's probably a really, really silly way to think, but it's just how I feel.
No, 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 it's good. It's good that you're absolutely right. Dare does kind of shore it all up at the back for us, and yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, if I can expand on it just one quickly,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I don't know a keeper that can come for a ball like he does.
Hmm.
He's good at coming for the ball. You can't bounce him off it. Do you know, it's like you can't knock him off it.
Yeah,
He's once he's got it, he's got it. That's that.
yeah. No, I agree 100%. I don't know if you watched the previous week when Brighton were playing Man United. James Milner and my fellow Scotsman Billy Gilmore had outstanding game. Obviously, Billy Gilmore's off to Napoli, so we didn't have to face that. But in the 14th minute, James Milner went down with what looks to be a thigh injury or a hamstring injury.
This man absolutely defies logic. He's 38 years old and he's still playing in the Premier League.
Uh, I know.
You've got to give him some credit for that. Do you know what I mean? But no, that was. I mean, he had that tape on his legs, didn't he? the black tape.
Yeah,
He looked like he did look like he was hurt. So you know, that maybe that was part of the game, changing of the game. Because I think we could have taken advantage of Milner, but
yeah.
it's all ifs, buts, and maybes now, isn't it?
It is, it definitely is. Um, 17th minute, White, I think that's when White hit the long ball. This is what I've got written down.
Oh, was it? Was it
Yeah, it
later
was the
on?
17th minute. And the ball comes over to Odegaard and
Mm.
he hits it first time, but he directs it straight at the goalkeeper. Any corner we could have scored.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he would have done. And last season he would have scored it.
exactly, yeah.
He didn't put his laces through it again. It's another one where he didn't put his laces through it.
21 minutes, Trossard pops up onto the right wing and he wins a corner. Saka takes the corner and absolutely nothing comes of it. Did you think the standard of our corners were quite poor? When I say poor, I mean
Well,
compared to like normal.
let me ask you what you think, and then I'll tell you what I think. What do you think?
I thought they were poor, if I'm being honest.
Uh,
If I'm,
too close to the keeper, maybe. Um, where Saka was finding people's heads last season, he doesn't seem to be finding them so far this season.
yeah,
But that's something we can get better at.
yeah,
There's nobody
uh,
else that can take the corners than him, though. Really, I don't
yeah,
think. I mean, I suppose Rice could do both sides, but he's better on the other side, isn't he?
yeah.
I mean, it's gone up.
Um,
It's gone up in respect that when Martinelli was taking them, Declan Rice takes a better corner, I think, than Martinelli, because Martinelli used to take them on Declan's side, didn't he?
yeah,
So, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a game of right. We were scoring a lot of set pieces last season. I think people are starting to realise how to maybe defend us better. I don't know.
yeah. Maybe that could be it. I just felt that the corners for me personally, I felt the corners were well not to standard, but again, it's I still feel there's a bit of rustiness within the squad, and it'll come. It will come. I've no doubt that whatsoever. But yeah, I just felt that like not. I'm not saying that because we didn't score off the corners, but last year it just seemed every single corner that came in, it was almost like a penalty kick because it was so dangerous. And in the Brighton game, I just felt that we're slightly off. 30th minute, Havertz headers the ball into the Arsenal box and
Mm,
presents Brighton with a chance.
yeah,
Um, Luckily, there was a volley and it was off target, but it was shocking defending by Havertz. If I'm
I
being
don't know why
full,
he headed it back into the area. I didn't get that at all.
no, no, just,
Um, he should have just. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he should have done, but heading it back into the area is not. No.
yeah. Um, 37 minutes. Saka, beautiful assist. King Kai comes up with the goods. What was your feeling? And talk me through it.
As soon as he was onto that ball, I knew it was going to be a goal. I just knew it was going to be. Just the way he put it over the keeper, it was. He knew where he was at all times, and it was a good goal. It was a really good goal. And what you got to remember now is Kai's 2 goals. Is it 2 goals in 3 games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So there's still that chance that he might get us 20 goals this season.
yeah. I've got a bet on with someone that he will actually score 20 goals this season, and it is the bet is to buy next season's home kit.
All right.
So if he doesn't score the 20 goals, I'll have to buy him it, and if he does score the 20 goals, I get that one bought.
Number 9 seems to be his position. I don't want him playing in midfield this season.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a question for later on in the show, but we'll come to that. 41 minutes.
Aye.
Declan Rice goes in quite heavy and picks up a yellow card. Obviously, that's really, really key to what we're going to speak about. 48 minutes. Party also picks up a booking. This time for me, I thought there was very minimal contact on the Thomas Partey one,
Yeah,
and it should never have been a yellow card.
totally agree. Totally agree. What's the difference between the way Thomas Partey and a 50-50 ball where you're not fouling the fella, you're just knocking him?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Yeah.
It would be worth saying at this point, half time gets blown, but I have missed something out, and for obvious reasons, I have to mention it. Joao Pedro, the ball goes out for a
Oh
throw
yeah,
in,
yeah.
and he kicks the ball like
30, 40 yards.
exactly, and nothing happens.
Yellow card. But by the well, I'm going to expand on this later. But as the words have been used, by the letter of the law, that's a yellow card.
1,000,000% it's a yellow card.
Yeah. But that's all
Um,
I'll say on that at the moment because I'll expand
yeah,
on it later
I'm
on.
going. I'm going to like just. I'm going to keep breaking it down, and obviously once we get to the bit, we'll have to go in deep on it because there was a number of things happened. So that's half time. You frustrated at that point that Arsenal are not like more than 1-0 up?
No, the way it was going, mate, I was happy with 1-0, to be honest. Um, because after the first 10 minutes, I thought we became a little bit lethargic.
Yeah.
We slowed down. We slowed the play down. Obviously, Odegaard had taken his knock, and after that, he couldn't seem to put a pass together. To be honest with you, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was happy with the 1-0. Um, to be honest, Brighton didn't even look like scoring. So yeah, 1-0 was okay.
It was,
That was my
well,
thought process anyway.
yeah. I kind of was the same as well. I felt that bit that we were kind of we showed glimpses in the first 10, 15 minutes for me where we were really good and we could really hurt them even when they were defending. And then I remember getting to half time and thinking, right, they're 1-0 down. Some given point in this game, they're going to have to open up. And at the point of them opening up will be when we could go on to maybe get 2-3.
Mm.
So, and like yourself as well, because of the defence and because we had obviously David Raya in goal, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm like, you've no chance of scoring against us. So even with that was my kind of feeling at half time. Come out at second half, straight away, Havertz has a chance and he nearly scores.
Yeah,
Straight away.
that looked like intent to me. Look, we came out with that intent. Do you know what I mean? And we were, I think, trying to establish a foothold in the game again. As I said in the first half, we were lethargic near
Yeah.
the end, and then they're talking to by Arteta at half time, and they've come out, and I thought, here we go. This is Arsenal back on the game. Do you know what I mean? I didn't expect what happened.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would agree with that.
He was John. He
Um,
was, mate.
46 minutes, more intent from Arsenal. Rice takes a corner, Big Gabriel gets up, but he headers it over the bar
Yeah,
just to show even more intent into
yeah,
what we're doing. So I emphasises what you said. We've came out, um, we've tried to really take the game to them. 47 minutes. Brighton corner flag.
uh-huh.
Um, Brighton corner flag, and it's not in a danger area at all. There's nothing at all. There's a free kick to Brighton caused by Declan Rice. Nothing serious. Just absolutely nothing in it whatsoever. The Brighton player, first of all, puts the ball down and he nudges it forward. It hits Declan Rice's heel, which could be classed as he's taken the free kick, even though Declan Rice had no chance of getting out of the way of it. So it could have been classed as he's taken the free kick. However, the ball is still moving, and Declan Rice, the ball's rolling. Declan Rice nudges the ball 6 inches to the side, and he gets kicked. He goes down. The Brighton players, including a former Arsenal player and Danny
Welbeck.
Welbeck,
Yeah.
are all screaming at the referee to give him a second yellow card because he kicked the ball away.
Mm.
And the referee surely obliges. You can swear as much as you want when you want to
No,
discuss
no,
this.
I'll keep it clean, mate. Don't worry. Right, first of all, okay, I'm going to go off on something a bit different for a second, right? The only yellow card that a Brighton player got yesterday was for doing a fake yellow card to the ref, right? Sorry, the guy who hacked down um, Saka should have got a yellow card. Yes, I will admit that Declan Rice, Declan Rice's first yellow card was a yellow card because he was late,
Yeah.
right? But I want to address this letter of the law rubbish, right? Football does not have laws. Football has rules. Laws are different to rules. This letter of the law doesn't mean nothing. They're rules, not laws. Yeah, you're not going to get arrested for them. Do you know what I mean? So, end of the day, this is the truth of it. Pedro, as we've said before, smashes the ball 20, 30 yards up the pitch when it goes out, right? No yellow card. Yeah. Veltman, that was no way a foul. It was just a coming together and he got knocked down. Yeah, not a foul. It was in the corner. It was going nowhere, right? Like you said, and that's the truth, right? The ball was moving. Now, I tell you something now. If someone kicked the ball, if the ball was moving to me, I would have done exactly the same as what Declan Rice did. Backheel it, slightly backheel it back to him. Whether it goes off, I mean, he was right by the line anyway. So if it goes off the pitch, it goes off the pitch. They just pick it up, right, and um, and and put it where they need to put it. Now, Veltman claims he was trying to pass it to Danny Welbeck. No, he wasn't. He wouldn't have got it to Danny Welbeck. He instigated that. He knew what he was doing there. He instigated it, right? So, end of the day, yeah, the referee has made that all about him
Hmm.
to me, right? There's no way Declan Rice should have been sent off. We can't appeal it because of two yellow cards, yeah? So there's no appeal, right? To be honest, I agree with David here. The referee, he should be struck off. He shouldn't be allowed to manage this again this season as a punishment, right? I'm not saying that he can't manage next season, right? But he should not. Sorry, manage. He should not referee again this season, right? Because it's an absolute disgrace, absolute disgrace. And I'm sorry, it does look like referees have agenda against Arsenal. It's
Yeah.
like they don't want us to win.
I'm going to bring you to a game that happened today where Hughes was on a yellow card and the ball, which is unreal, was going forward and Hughes dragged down a player. It was a stonewall yellow card. The referee didn't want to give him a yellow card, and Hughes was then substituted within 1 minute of that happening. That's not the only bad decision that's happened this weekend. I've seen the ball getting kicked away. Rashford done it in the game today. I've saw it. So I think for me the letter of the law, I totally get it, and it's the inconsistency
I was
that
just
we
about to say
see.
it's all about inconsistency, Mark.
Yeah. So to give just to the one point I will make on Declan Rice is you're an England international. Your experience, you've won a number of things. We know we're up against these decisions. It's been happening, and he has to learn and make sure that he knows, well, especially when he's on a yellow, not to do these things. We have to learn. This is mentality. I think that's the word I'm looking for is mentality. And he has to raise his mentality because this is exactly the type of thing that is going to happen.
But Mark, Veltman was doing the dark arts. He knew what he was doing there. He knew.
Yeah, I know, but the point I'm making is that while we know that there's certain referee decisions that I'm away to bring up in a second, while we know these certain referee decisions are actually getting brought up, um, we need to rise above them and we need to put these referees in a situation. It's not the first time this has happened to Arsenal Football Club. So we need to get to a situation where we know the referees are going to do this. So we have to not be doing anything at all to give them a call.
So that's fair enough. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, right? Good evening, Ange. Good evening, everybody in the chat. Um, when can we, or when do the referees get held accountable?
I hear that, but if we use, for me personally, and my mentality is definitely raising this season, if we go in not expecting the referees to be this inconsistent and this poor, then I'm afraid it's not going to happen. It happened last season. Look what happened for the Newcastle goal like it's the James's Park. The ball goes out. It just doesn't get as seemingly it's not out, or they can't say if it's out or if it's in. Then you've got a full on Gabriel, which again they didn't see, even though it was blatant that Joe went and went right over the top of Gabriel, and then it was a foul. And then there's an offside decision, but because they couldn't say that that was the case, it was inconclusive. Then that goal stood. Now there was more VAR checks on one incident in that game than anything at all. So, and that's me just pulling one off. I've not came prepared
Oh no,
of
no, no, no. It's fine. It's fine.
bad refereeing decisions. Arsenal Football Club do get them. And
Yeah.
all clubs get them, but Arsenal Football Club do get them. And just to prove my point, but going to speak, I just want to bring something quickly up. I hope this works. Here, Strangle, no yellow card.
Yep. I was just about to bring that up. So the way I see it as well, Mark, right, is this, okay? Okay. Match one, someone gets strangled, nothing happens. Match two, Declan Rice situation. Okay. Does this mean there's going to be controversy every time Arsenal play this season? It's as if right, the referees have got like they're a secret gang of secret handshakes, and we don't want Arsenal to win. Do you know what I mean? And I know
Yeah.
people go, oh, that's an agenda. No, I haven't got an agenda. I'm just speaking general, right? Okay. It's like on Ref Watch on Monday morning. Yeah, they're all going to stick together. And I'm sorry. Good evening. Good evening. I'm sorry. Right? They're accountable. If a player's accountable for what they do, a referee should be accountable for what they do.
100%. But what I'm saying is these things are going to happen there. So we have to take this on board, and not teams are going to try and do this against Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, but
so
dude,
we need to rise above that.
Yeah, but dude, right? Look at it this way. I know what you're talking about. We should mentality and everything. I get that, but that's 2 points dropped, right? That could make all the difference at the end of the season. Yeah, and we'll all be going, oh, we lost the league because that Brighton match at home. Because we did it last year, didn't we? Yeah, and I don't want a repeat of that. Yeah, and at the end of the day, that referee should not be allowed to referee for the rest of this season. And what were VAR doing? Why didn't VAR come in on it?
I thought they were meant to come in at important decisions. By the way, sorry, I'm in my dressing gown. It's still my Arsenal dressing gown. I went on my exercise bike, and then I had a shower, and I was like, oh shit, I've got to go online. So I just thought, oh well, well, I'll represent. So
no, but what I'm saying is, guys, at the end of the day, right? Like John says in the chat, it's like ref crime watch. Do you know what I mean? Do you know this referee? What was the last time he did a crime against your team? Do you know? You know what I'm saying? It's getting ridiculous. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. It wouldn't happen in the rest of Europe. Don't get me wrong. I know they're human. I know they can make mistakes. And he made a massive one yesterday. He made an absolutely massive one yesterday.
It felt like he was a narcissist yesterday, because it felt like the more we were calling him a wanker and the more we were shouting at him, the more things were going going against us. It was like that kid that gets bullied and then grows up to be a manager of a big company and then decides to become the bully. That's what he felt like. It was the more we were shouting, the worse it was getting.
Honestly, he had his cards on a piece of elastic, didn't he? That was just bang. There you go. Have a card. He was giving them out.
Oh.
He was giving them out, Mark, like they were gifts.
I know.
Mm.
Big up, Liam, in the chat. Yeah, Aisha, do you want to come through it with your take of what you felt of that?
I think Zach has summed it up perfectly when he said it's about consistency. Look, if their players had been given the same treatment as ours, I don't think anybody would have complained. It was the fact that it was like, and I saw it with my own two bloody eyes. It was like he was waiting for anyone in a red shirt to do something wrong, because there were so many tackles that were made that you didn't see on TNT. So many tackles that were made that he just ignored. And then the minute it become anywhere near an Arsenal player, boom, that card was out.
Every time the ball went near Havertz and Havertz was trying to spin somebody on, go for the ball, he was blowing the whistle. Yeah. I've told you a lie, Mark. I said Brighton player only got it for producing the fake card. Pedro got one for dissent as well, didn't he? So they got 2 yellow cards.
2 yellows.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Right,
I feel like Rice did the tackle was undeniable for the first yellow card. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And I think that Brighton decided in the second half, do you know what? He is their strongest point in midfield. Let's put him in a situation where we're going to get him carded again. I really think, and I wouldn't say that against Brighton normally, but I think they had a very, very dark game plan yesterday. And the reason I think it is because when they scored their equaliser, right, and I don't normally shout when I'm there, and I went, look at what they're doing. The cheats are like the ungentlemanly conduct was. Mark, can I swear? Do I have permission? Swear jar.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, we've got a swear jar.
Fucking disgusting, because their supporters were here and we were here and they went to our supporters.
Oh, you're breaking up.
All the way down the other end of the pitch, ours, and cheered, not their own.
And they were saying we weren't fit enough to win the league. You're not fit enough to win the league.
And it was just everything disgusting yesterday, and it makes me sick when people go on about Ben White's shithousery and the things he does, but their whole team was doing it yesterday.
Yeah,
everything.
Do you not think that?
Yeah, right. I promise.
Paul, don't watch
the channel.
Paul, don't watch Friday's show back, mate. I'll be over you for at least 100 quid.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Big time. 57 minutes. I stopped taking notes at this point because I'm in a rage myself. Dunk passes the ball through, and horrendous defending from Saliba and Gabriel. Would you both agree with that?
I think they did take their eye off it. Yeah, I do. But I think after that, sorry, just remind me, what was the minute that Rice got sent off?
47.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty close to the beginning of this. I think personally they all got rattled. I think they got rattled.
Isha, the problem you got right is the 10 minutes where we should have stayed strong. We didn't. When you first go down to that 10 man, you're supposed to stay strong for the first 10 minutes so the manager can decide what he's going to do. We didn't.
No.
And we got caught. We got caught on the long ball. It was a Hail Mary pass.
It felt like the first half it was them trying to stop us, and after that decision it was us trying to stop them. Like I'm pissed off we didn't win, but waking up this morning, I kind of felt lucky we walked away with a point. And I don't want to feel like that about my football club against Brighton.
See, I respectfully disagree with you just slightly, right?
Mm.
I don't see it as luck. It wasn't luck because the way we set up and the way we defended for them 50 minutes that were left or whatever, we played well. And we could have won it.
Oh, we did. Des, you know what? I put it on. I can't find my exact comment, but I was someone put a picture. I think Football Funnies on Facebook put a picture of a bottle with an Arsenal picture on it, right? And said same thing again this season. And someone in the comments went, "Yeah, you'll never hear the end of this with Arsenal fans in May." And I went, respectively, I said, I'm going to look at this from a different perspective. This time last year, this time 2-3 seasons ago, if that had happened, we could have lost that game 3-1. We could have fallen apart, right? We didn't. They stayed on every man. I mean, I don't know, guys, I'm sorry, if you've covered the Man United game today. Have you covered it yet?
No.
Right.
No,
okay, just very, very briefly before we do talk about that in more detail. Gary Neville on the commentary for that game, when I can't even tell you what formation Man United are playing at the moment. They're just trying not to lose 4-0, right? And I felt that was the opposite of us yesterday. We actually marked them man for man to stop them winning 2-1 after that red card. If that was the Arsenal of old that we have had to put up with for the last how many years before we've got this team together, they would have lost 3-1. I'm not going to take it as 2 points lost. Okay. I'm going to think to myself mentally until the end of the season, that could be the 1 point that we win. And I'm going to tell you, Mark, I got a theory. I was thinking about this today. You know, Man City have gone on this roll at the moment. They're about 2 or 3 points clear, I think, at the minute, aren't they?
Well, just two.
2 points. Yeah, 2 points.
Right. I've got a theory. If this pans out, I reckon it might be something quite.
I know what you're going to say.
I think they're going to go about 10 points in front by Christmas, and then this dodgy FA and all this shit that's going on, they're going to deduct them 10 points, and then they're basically going to be just neck and neck with us like they were last season.
Well,
and
that
1 point yesterday could win us the league.
It could be before Christmas. It could be before Christmas because the 115 charges starts this month.
Do you know what though? That I still think that's something they're not gonna destroy them because they bring too much money in. But they wanna like you said on the last show, Mark, and I thought you were 100% right. You said they're gonna want to make an example of them because they can't let them get away with it when Everton haven't, Forest haven't, Chelsea haven't. They're gonna need to do something, but they're gonna do something that's only gonna tip them slightly under. So if they do win the league, the FA can put their hands up and go, well, we did do something, but they were still very good.
Yeah.
The problem there is, right, you could be right with 10 points, but what punishment is that? When you look at, as an example, right, you look at Rangers, right, and they were knocked down 4 leagues, weren't they? Yeah? Do it to Man City. If that's how you've started with Rangers, I know it was years ago, right?
But you're right. If that's how you
Guys, just to bring it back on the topic, Paul's put in a question. Does you want to answer it? And then are you sure you go after?
I don't mind. Yeah, that's fine. Des, you want to go?
Yeah.
Should that change have been made quicker after the card?
Yeah, I think everybody was. I think it was shock. Part of the problem was shock.
Yep.
But yes, Paul, it should have been done a lot quicker. I do agree, but also I will say this: the lads that he brought on to sort us out of the back. I mean, Calafiori did well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who might be looking over his shoulder. If I'm honest with you, Gabriel. He might be looking over it. Calafiori can step in where he is. He's like last season. He hasn't had the best start, has he? I don't think. That's just my opinion, but you know.
And I actually turned to my mum yesterday and I said to her, I went, do you know what? Everybody thought I was mad. Apart from Mark, I will give him this. Everyone thought I was mad for saying I would love to see Grealish at Arsenal. But do you know what? If Grealish was at Arsenal yesterday and Rice had got sent off, Grealish could have come in there very, very easily and very, very quickly. I think he could have done quite easy. I don't think he'll ever come to us, by the way. He doesn't even look like he's bothered to leave City. But I just thought when I looked at him yesterday, I thought Do you know, mind you, Calafiori, though, I'm not even sure now. I say that about Grealish, but Calafiori, he was holding very, very well. He's a, hang on, I've forgotten what, he's a defender, though, isn't he, Calafiori?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Look how him and Timber were getting into the mid when Timber was
Yeah,
on. Look how they
that's
were
why,
getting into the midfield. Look how they were getting into the midfield yesterday. They look strong. You know what I mean? And Greenish is being treated like an idiot at Man City. He would be all right. I've got to be honest. He would be all right at Arsenal. But look at it this way as well. If Gabriel hadn't have fell on Marino, yeah, he would have been on the pitch yesterday.
Yeah, he would have done.
Yeah.
You know.
So after the substitution was made straight after the goal, it was in 58 minutes. Arsenal went to a back five and we played like a 5-3-1. I couldn't understand where Saka was playing in that in the midfield. He seemed to come over to the left of the three in midfield.
So I actually watched the highlights and the whole game again at home because this is something that really interests me. I knew there was a lot of people that were going to say that about Saka because on the highlights and the footage you saw on the game, it looked like he didn't do very much. But from where I was sitting, he actually was running round and quite feisty and getting involved. But he wasn't getting involved on the ball, if that makes sense. He was getting involved around players who were then going on the ball. And I think he was trying desperately to get himself in a position where he was going to assist rather than trying to score.
Yeah, but also when Martinelli came on, Isha, he was taken off his side and put on the other side, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So that puts him out of position, does it not?
No, I'd say it does. But as we've seen with games today and other games yesterday, these players are put in positions, but they don't always stick to them.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But that was the next point I was going to make. It was actually about Martinelli, and it didn't make sense to me. I didn't know at the time, but Odegaard comes off in 72 minutes and Martinelli comes on. I didn't understand that at all, but after the game, it was Odegaard had picked up that knock, and it seemed he was on painkillers.
Yeah.
He was getting pain relief. So that maybe it does make sense after all. The only other point that I want to bring up was the Brighton chance, which I can't believe that they never scored. Do you remember it? It was I think it was Joao Pedro again. He took a shot and it was blocked, and it came back to the Brighton player. David Raya dived down. It was basically an open goal, and it was almost hit straight at David Raya. At that point, were you feeling that like, I just need to get off here with a point?
I think even up until the final whistle, I felt like it felt like a loss. But I think it was waking up to that. I don't know what it is about when you wake up the next day and you think about these games, and sometimes your perspective changes. But I did walk away from there yesterday feeling like we'd lost, but this morning waking up not really feeling like that. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
See, for me, the Kai Havertz, I thought that was the Kai Havertz attempt. Yeah, I thought that was a goal. The second one, I thought that was a good save by their keeper. I'll give him that. Right. In fact, the keeper was probably the only player on the pitch that didn't try and do anything dirty. But Saka, just a little. He needed to be an inch taller, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? I didn't think. Let's put it this way: I didn't think we were going to lose the game, but it wouldn't have surprised me if we had it done.
Yeah, at that point,
it wouldn't have surprised me if it was like they did last week, a 95th minute, boom, there you go. Let's shut everybody up, innit? It was one of them moments. Do you know what I mean? But no, we're too strong. We are. I mean, even now we're proving we're strong. It's just it wasn't. It was kind of taken out of our hands, wasn't it, by the referee?
Do you think it's frustrating, although that we know that how good Havertz is and the problems that he causes, is Paul has put up in one of his questions, the chances that we had were gilt edge, and we've not brought in an out-and-out striker. Do you think this is going to cost us this season?
I want to see how Raheem Sterling plays against Spurs before I make a decision on how I feel about that one, because they are going to bring him out like a show pony. It's blatantly obvious.
Is he going to have ribbons in his hair?
Yeah, and everything. There's something not sitting right with me about this Sterling deal. And it's not that we've got him. I actually feel quite positive about getting him. We're making a lot of effort for a loan deal. Have you noticed this? All of the advertising. I mean, I was looking back on it and I was looking at all of the pictures that all of the other transfers got in this window. And they didn't get about 5 or 6 pictures in their shirts, kissing the badge and all this stuff. But Sterling's had his own promo video.
Yeah.
I personally think that he's there. They're not telling us the full ins and outs of this. And I think he's there with a, you know, they've got this agreement to buy now. I don't think he's got an agreement to buy because that has to be disclosed. But I think he's been told, if you actually help us win the league this season, we will buy you. That's what I really, really believe.
That's a lot on his shoulders, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But considering the Saudi league wanted to offer him $650,000 a week, I think Arteta's probably quite within his rights to demand that of a player he's put on his neck on the line for.
But it's like what I said. Do you remember on Friday night, Aisha, when I said, "What's the point of a release clause if you're not going to, if you're not going to take advantage of it?"
And we agreed on that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, we need a striker. As much as Havertz is scoring, he's still not an out-and-out striker to me. We need an out-and-out striker. We need a Haaland. We're not going to get a Haaland. I thought we were going to get it with Shesko, but didn't happen.
No.
So, see, to me, Sterling is covered for Saka. I don't see him as anything else, personally. The chat may agree, may not agree. I don't care. I don't mind. Whatever.
But you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I don't mind if you come at me. Come at me. I don't mind. But, what I'm saying is that the money we made off of the sales of Nketiah, Emil Smith Rowe, and anybody else you want to chuck in there, because I don't want to take up too much time, would have covered. We could have gone and got Osimhen. We could have got. I said this to you earlier, didn't I, Mark? Or we could have gone and got Gyökeres. Yeah. But surely, and I could be wrong here, controversial moment, aren't the Cronkies partly to blame as well because they haven't released the funds, have they?
The Cronkies are 100% to blame. Look, I'm telling you, I've got a theory why they haven't released the funds. Because Walmart's taking a hit. Have you been reading the papers about the money, about Asda's losing money, Walmart's losing money? Well, they're not releasing the funds because they don't know what they got. And this was always Josh Kroenke's fault. Not fault. This was his problem with his dad. His dad bought his dad bought him that football club for a birthday present, if I remember reading rightly. And all he did was siphon money out of Arsenal to pay for his American club. And then Josh Kroenke turned around and went, "Enough is enough, Dad. This is meant to be mine, and you're not letting me run it." So that's why we've seen him more over the last 3 years, I think it is. And but I think you'll find that he's going to now having to make some very hard decisions because I don't think the money is available for him to do much with.
Well, the problem you've got as well, right, is that did you notice last season when we spent all the money in the transfer window? What happened? The LA Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah? They haven't done anything this year.
No.
So we ain't got the money.
No. So he's now doing it the other way, which is
quite like robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, isn't it?
Yeah. So just coming back to the actual game then, who was your man of the match for Arsenal in the game?
Oh, Raya, 100% for me. Because he could have gone, if he isn't made of stronger stuff, he could have let the nerves could have got to him once Rice went off, but he made some cracking saves. And he didn't take his eye off the ball 1 point in that match, I don't think.
Only the one that got underneath him, and that wasn't even his fault.
No.
Because he saved it to begin with. So, Yeah, I'd have to agree, Raya. And I tell you what, he's going to be the difference maker a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll take David's question before we move on. Big Gabby always starts the season slowly or poorly. What's your take on that and why, if you agree?
I
He
think
started
this.
put. Sorry, gone. Sorry,
I was just going to say, I just think this season is probably still a bit left over from the Euros.
Oh no, Gabby. He means Brazilian. I take it he means a defender, does he?
Yeah.
So
You know that, Gabby.
yeah,
We have got quite a few.
wasn't he playing for Brazil in the break? Was he?
We wouldn't
In
have been
the
playing in the Euros.
was he in the
No,
Copa
Copa
America?
America.
Copa
Oh,
America.
Copa America. Yeah. No, I think, yeah, he was.
So
I
that
think,
might be it.
yeah, if I was going to answer that, David, what I would say is I would agree with the guys because of the international tournaments that went on. Um, I feel the whole team is not where we will be, and we're still a bit rusty, and we're still trying to get in much fitness. So I would say the exact same thing. And it's funny that you bring up Gabriel rather than Saliba, but I actually thought Saliba's been shaky the last two games. But everybody always highlights Gabriel. Nothing, I don't mean that personal, mate, in the slightest. But yeah, I think the only player that so far has shown me that there's not much rust in the legs is been Saka, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't think that we're up. Now, we've got a few questions to just moving on from the actual game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Our next game after the international break is obviously North London Derby. We
Mm-hmm.
know that Mourinho's out. Looks like it's some kind of fracture injury, so there's no way he's going to be involved. He's going to be out for a number of weeks. And we now also have Declan Rice out that we cannot appeal because it's two yellows. So my first question is, how are Arsenal going to cope?
We have to. That's it.
But yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. They've got to. They can't
Yeah.
not.
We have to. It's Tottenham. You know. So
So
look at it this way: Declan's not there, right? So we'll have to put someone in there, take his place. And
well, that's the next.
We've beaten Tottenham without. Sorry, mate. We've beaten Tottenham without Declan. Not taking anything away from Declan, but we've beaten Tottenham without Declan, so we can do it again.
That's the next question. What is the midfield for that game?
That's a good question. I would have said Mourinho, but obviously Gabriel the tank fell on him, and you know. But to replace Declan, in all honesty, I might put Timber in there or Zinchenko. There you go.
Do you know what? I mean, this is total fantasy, and it would not happen. But do you know I'd love to see come and do the business there, in Wari. I'd love him to really. I mean, I know he's youth and whatnot, but I think he's actually too young to play for the first team. And is he 19?
It's not even that.
No,
It's only about 17.
Just turned 18, hasn't he? Just turned 18.
He's too young, but oh my God, how amazing would it be to give him a chance on the North London Derby?
Isha, is he too young? Look how he played in pre-season. Is he?
Well, yeah, exactly. What about putting him on for the last 10, 15 minutes?
All I've got to say is Wayne Rooney, 16. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's his turn. Maybe it's his time to shine. Give him a go.
I think I'm going to go with Paul. I think it will be Jorginho. Partey actually played left eight for Atletico. The only problem that we have got with that is Thomas Partey cannot. He doesn't have the legs to do the box to box, in my opinion. The other option that we've obviously got is either Partey at the 6, Havertz as the 8, and then you then play Sterling up front. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
I've really got a gut instinct that he's thinking about Sterling, Trossard, and Martinelli on some rotation. Because like we were saying on Friday, Martinelli can play on the left and the right. And I think that there's going to be some striking rotation between those three. I don't think any of them are going to play a full 90 minutes. But I'd probably go with Jorginho, Ødegaard, and Havertz in the middle. And then I'd probably swap Jorginho in this is a fantasy, by the way, in like the 60th, 70th minute and put Nwari on. Because if it's a North London derby and he's part of our youth, he's going to want to shine. He's going to want to turn around and be like, do you know what? This is the big one. This is where I get in the first team.
I'll be honest, I forgot about Jorginho in the heat of the moment. I forgot about him. But also, Ødegaard says that Nwari's good enough. So
he's the captain.
Yeah.
He's a captain. I'll tell you what, he's been savage pre-season and things he's done for the youth team. And I'd send him up there. Look, if we did that, psychologically, we're sending a very, very strong message as well. We've just got rid of 3 Hale End youth team players, right? We're showing that there's more to come, that we can churn these masters at work out. And I just think it's a great move. That is my personal opinion.
And the thing is as well, guys, Tottenham are going in. Sorry, the London KFC, right, are going into the international break. They've just lost to Newcastle. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to steamroll them. But there we go.
Okay. Off of the subject of Arsenal, and I'm back onto Brighton. I think we've all agreed I've had a really impressive start to the season. Yeah, regardless of the result. Can you see them continuing this kind of form and getting into Europe? Or like the challenging for top 4?
No, they're stronger teams, mate.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to contend for top 4.
They're stronger teams, fella. Top 6, maybe, but not top 4.
The top 4 are Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and Villa for me. They're the top 4 teams this season.
Well, Villa or Newcastle for me.
But 75% of that we agree on. It's just
yeah.
Okay, final question.
Each I'm just giving myself a bit of flexibility. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, that's not a problem.
The final thing before to move away from the Arsenal game, or we can still discuss it, was point gained or 2 points dropped?
Ladies first.
I can't afford to think of it as 2 points dropped. I think we need to think of it as a point gained. And there were silly games last year that we shouldn't have even walked away with no points when we went 1-0 up. Brighton is not one of them silly games. We went 10 men down, 1 man down to 10 men, and it was a pivotal man. It was Declan Rice, who has turned so many things around for us last season. The way that team come together, like I said, that could have been a 3-1 loss any other season. I'm not taking it as 2 points lost. I think the fact that they scored in the 50-odd minute and we had to hold on them for another 30-odd minutes, I think was bloody good doing by Arsenal.
I can't put it any better myself. First thing I said to myself when I switched it off, right, when I'd watched it, that was a point gained. So, Aisha's summed it all up. I can only just put what I thought right at the end. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I said to myself at the final whistle?
Go on.
What?
The invincible season's still on.
Well, there you go.
And it's, yeah, and I can't, yeah. Everybody forgets we drew, was it 12 games that season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
drew 12 games.
Mm.
And if you remember, in the 49 games unbeaten, and I will always draw this to people, there was actually a penalty decision that was overturned, which you very, very rarely see.
Mm.
So, strange things happen.
Sorry, apologies. That's actually a point as well. I actually missed that out. I was probably arguing with the TV at the time, but there was a shot that came in at the edge of the box from, I don't know, it was one of our players, and it hit Dunk in the arm, but it was about 20 yards out. Would you have classed that as a penalty, or?
Well, they don't, because he didn't move the arm towards it. Now the arm's got. I think the arm's got to be going towards it for them to go.
Was
Yeah,
it right? Okay.
Which is a rule that's just come out today or something. I think they've decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I say, Ref Watch on Monday is going to be interesting because they're all going to stick together like a den of thieves.
Oh yeah, they will do. They will do.
What I've seen so far, they're not. They're coming out and saying it's one of the worst sending offs that.
Because there's been so much of a hoo-ha.
Been
That's
out there.
why, mate. They're not. If we weren't sitting here talking about it the way we are, and everybody else is talking about it the way we are, even, and in fairness, even other teams' fans say it wasn't a sending off. So
listen, we live in a world of social media. Everyone's got a phone now. I must have seen about 1,000 different camera angles from people that were actually there that filmed what was going on. They're not going to get away with this for much longer. And the other thing that no one seems to be talking about, and God knows I don't know why, Declan Rice is not a dirty player.
No,
I don't remember the last time I've seen him even be carded, let alone get sent off. His look on his face was shock. Yeah. Absolute shock. He is not that. And he came out and apologised last night. I was more angry at him for apologising because I actually thought, don't get me wrong, I know why he's done it because he is that sort of player. But Saka had more balls in what he said, and he wasn't involved.
I wasn't. I was proud of Declan Rice for doing that because men mentality now is you haven't let. But what I put back to Declan Rice when he's done that was you haven't let us down. However, learn from it because this is going to happen to you. And this is it's a mentality. It is mentality. We know we're up against this. So if we're up against this, we cannot be doing it. Regardless if it's the wrong decisions, it's the right decisions, whatever aspects are in there. As players, these players, if they want to get over the line, we cannot be in a situation where we give the referees the opportunity to do that to them.
I guarantee
let me just rephrase what I'm saying. I'm not angry with him as in I'm angry he made the statement. What I really mean is I'm proud of him for making it. I just feel like he shouldn't have had to because he didn't do anything wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I get your point, and you're 100% correct. He shouldn't have had to, and we shouldn't have to. If we had consistent refereeing, then we would not be in possession of this. But we do not. And we do end up on the bad end of these decisions. So we just have to factor in, we are going to be on the bad end of these decisions. So let's not get involved in it. Let's try and stay away from it. The first game, when I shared this, sorry, give me 2 seconds. Again, this is Arsenal trying to get provoked. And
a mind reader. This is exactly what I was literally just thinking. I was like, how did a little toe tap of the ball to sort of a ball that was moving got a card
exactly
in a red? So this is actual assault.
Absolutely. So what we need to do is factor that these kind of things are going to happen and stay as far away as we possibly can.
What we're also missing as well, though, is Veltman give him a crack.
Mm-hmm.
He gave him a crack right in front of the referee. The referee was stood there when he did it. And what I don't get, when the actual thing happened, the referee was over the other side of the pitch. So how did he see it? He couldn't.
And why is it you can get a card for taking your shirt off and waving it around, but the whole team decides to go over to the Arsenal fans and start giving it to them, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, is incitement a riot, but there's nothing. Not even a card for the first player over there. It was disgusting.
One thing I will guarantee you guys, Declan Rice will not do this ever again.
No, he won't. He's not that sort of player.
Exactly. That's it. And that's the mentality. For me, he's an unbelievable player.
I mean,
and he's on the verge of being world class.
He's his first red card ever. That's his first red card ever, isn't it?
He isn't that type of player. We all know that. But I heard yesterday that there is a possibility Arsenal could appeal. I don't know how true it is, the suspension, but they cannot appeal the 2 yellow cards.
They can't. No, they can't.
And now Declan Rice is only 1 yellow card away from another ban.
Match ban, isn't he? Yeah.
But they can't appeal because of the 2 yellows. And why would they?
Yeah,
say
no,
appeal?
yeah, that's the point I was making. But see, I don't know if they can appeal the actual suspension. So the yellow cards will stand. However, but the punishment of like the yellow card, Arsenal could. I don't know if that's true. I've never heard it, but there was someone, and he's actually a journalist, and he had actually came out
Do you not
and said
think-
the suspension itself can be appealed or possibly be appealed. I don't know if that's possible or not.
this might just be my opinion here, right? But does it also not feel that Declan Rice has been used as a bit of an example?
Yeah.
I think if I had been, do you know something? I think if I had been Thomas Partey, the bottom line is when Brighton, their half-time team talk was get out Thomas Partey and get Declan Rice. They're on a yellow, one more yellow, they're off. And that was apparent. Absolutely apparent from the word go. And Declan just happened to be the player that was there and that happened to. And that's why they were all flashing the yellow cards.
Yeah,
like
but
he's
hold
kicked the ball away, etc. They were all flashing the yellow card. It was
they
all
were doing that.
the case.
One more thing you've forgotten though, and this is maybe why, but Gabriel was on a yellow card as well. So do you think when they scored that he just didn't want to go in case he got sent off? Because he was on a yellow card as well.
I tell you what, there was a lot of round near me. Was a lot of when we were going in the box after them. There was so many Arsenal fans screaming, "Don't touch him!" because they like to any player because they were sure that they were going for penalties, and that dumbass ref would have given it to them.
And the other thing I was going to say, right? Okay, Saka, right? Because of the player he is. You know the second attempt at goal that he had, where he stuck his foot out. Oh no, was it one before, where he could have gone down and we could have got a penalty, but he didn't go down.
Yeah.
I must admit, I was sitting there going, go down. But I don't think that referee would have given us anything yesterday.
Oh, actually, can I bring up a point? Zoom in UK has said about Danny Welbeck waving an imaginary card. I'd like to see that footage again because if you actually look at the footage of him stood right next to Declan Rice when Declan Rice is on his way off, he goes, and I rewound this a couple of times to check. You lip read it, he goes, I know. In other words, I don't think Danny Welbeck thought that was a sending off either.
And I don't know what.
But the letter of the law is if you actually wave that yellow card, that you get that yellow card. It never happened for Danny Welbeck.
But it was very weird with Welbeck yesterday because the Arsenal fans clapped him when he went off. I mean, I know he's an ex-Arsenal player, but the way he went right over to Declan Rice and he was almost like trying to defuse the situation, I was like, he looks like he's saying, I know. And he was when I watched it over and over again. It was almost like he was trying to say, yeah, I know this isn't right.
Well, Arsenal fans can maybe applaud him off the park or whatever, but in my eyes, I will never, ever forgive Danny Welbeck for what he did yesterday. Never. Any time that the goal that he scored against Leicester that put us back in the hunt in 2016 to get us the points off of Leicester and put us closer. All that's gone, Danny. All with your card. The whole lot's gone.
I need to see that again because I really didn't see. I really didn't see him do that. I saw him going. I know.
Yeah,
I don't dispute you. There's a million different angles you can watch a football game from. So I'd be interested to go back and see what I can see. Because I'd no doubt I feel the same with you if I see that because that's really bad conduct.
Also, on my commentator said as Declan was walking off, oh, Arteta doesn't even want to look at him. Actually wrong. Arteta did look at him. So just leave it. Just make a big thing out of it and they don't.
This is what they've got to do. They're trying to hit their headlines, and that's what they're trying to do. Arteta was raging after it. As I say, if the ball's rolling, if he's taking the free kick,
simulation.
Exactly, yeah.
Simulation.
He had the ball down. He's got his hand on it. He kicks the ball. It hits Declan's heel. It's not Declan's fault. No, Declan's walking away, so he's not giving Declan a chance to move. He's deliberately doing it. So the referee should have said that's a free kick taken and the ball was in play at that point. Or the ball was moving as Declan touches it. So it's not in play. It's either the ball was in play or it wasn't. And if the ball isn't in play, how could you give Declan a second yellow? It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's beyond.
Veltman claimed that he was blocking the pass to Danny Welbeck, didn't he?
He's tried to. Have you watched how hard that he kicked that ball? Or sorry, how hard he kicked Declan Rice, trying to kick the ball when Declan nudged it just 6 inches. He was kicking that as far up the park as he possibly could, which it was obvious he was deliberately trying to kick the ball against Declan to get Declan a second yellow card. That's all he was doing.
Can I just say as well, but people always have a go at Arsenal fans saying we over celebrate, right, and all this rubbish, right? Veltman celebrated when Declan was sent off. He was like, yes, like that. So, you know.
Can I just say, I did watch the Man United Liverpool game today, and the ref in that game was far superior to what we had to deal with yesterday. There was a point where I think Liverpool were on the break, and there was a foul committed, but because of the way the player recovered, it didn't impede the game, and he didn't blow the whistle. The fans were going nuts. Then the minute the ball went out of play, he went over to the player that fouled and gave him a card. That's how you ref. You read the game properly. And that idiot yesterday didn't read anything.
Well, can I drop a bombshell on you guys and go and Google that referee's name?
Chris, what's the name? Chris what?
Is it Kavanagh? Is it Kavanagh?
Yeah.
Google that and put in beside the Arsenal games and watch the red cards that he's gave Arsenal.
Listen, he grew up a Man City supporter. Never piss off nerds on the internet. That's the one thing I'm going to say. Never piss off an internet nerd, because they will find everything out about you. There's pictures coming out about him all over social media when he was a teenager in a Man City shirt. They will find you. Like it's Liam Neeson style take it shit.
And they will kill you.
Right?
I think he's... Do you remember that? I can't remember what game it was. I should have written this all down. It's went in my head. But Tommy Asu got controversially sent off.
It was a Tottenham match, wasn't it? It was a Tottenham game, wasn't it?
I think it was.
That was a referee. And there's more than that.
I tell you what we need. We need the Hills Have Eyes referee from Italy to come over and train all our British referees to do it properly. That's what we need.
Or we could do one other thing. We could make sure that our referees don't go over to Saudi Arabia and get paid £20,000 each for one game. We could do that, because that draws out. Do you know, I'm making excuses and I don't want to, but because I want Arsenal to be better than that. But yeah, it's just shocking, absolutely shocking.
The thing is, it's all right you wanting Arsenal to be better, but when the cards are stacked against you, mate, that's the difference maker.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Leaving the Arsenal game, let's try and do that. We'll touch on today's game. Man United against Liverpool. I predicted 4-0 Liverpool when it should have been. It could even been worse than that. What was your take on that today? And the other question, I'll just put it all in one because we'll be closing up soon. But is Ten Hag guaranteed to be sacked before the winter comes in?
Playing like that, yeah. I mean, it's just they were awful. I mean, I'll be honest with you, they were so bad they made Liverpool look like Man City. Because Liverpool are good, but they made them look amazing today. They made me scared for us to play them, and I'm not scared to play Liverpool. But they were so bad, United, that. Yeah, they made Liverpool look like a super team. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. But
well, let's put it this way: from what I saw, and it wasn't much. I had it on in the background. I wasn't really watching it, but could have been 6. What's his face? Rashford hasn't got any confidence.
No, none at all.
Just a crap game, basically.
It was just, yeah, like I say, it Liverpool, I'm never going to take anything away from them. They are a great side, but they definitely, Man United today played like Southampton did yesterday. They didn't know what they were doing with the ball. There was nothing going on at the back. There was whatever pushes forward were just flat as well. They had a couple of good chances, but it wasn't, Man
United are becoming one of them clubs where the players the players are staying for the money, and the manager. It's one of them cases. I think with Ten Hag is don't believe the hype. He's lucky to still have a job, only because he won the FA Cup. And I know people say, yeah, but you won the FA Cup. That must be something special. But luck plays a big part as well, you know. So he's lucky to have a job. I don't think he'll be manager of Man United by the January window. Let's say.
No, I don't think so.
He's just getting the most out of it what he can. But be honest, out of the Man United squad, who would you have in Arsenal? There you go. You haven't answered straight away. I mean, you can answer, but you haven't answered straight away.
I could tell you, Casemiro is definitely not one of them.
Casemiro was awful today, wasn't he?
His legs are gone.
Time to retire.
Yes. What did Jamie Carragher say? Leave football before football leaves you.
It's a great bloody saying, isn't it? Right. So the other thing I thought was really funny. You said who would we have at Arsenal reminded me. So me and my brother were talking about this today, and he sent me a screenshot of a message I sent him back when Chelsea signed Sterling in 2022. He said to me in this message, he will not be a good fit there. And I replied, I'd have him at Arsenal in a heartbeat. And then he replied, there's no way we'd get someone like that the way we're playing at the moment. And that was, and that weird.
Yeah, but in them times, that's fair comments, isn't it?
Pardon?
At them times, that's fair comments.
Yeah.
It just shows how much we have progressed.
That's what he was saying to me. He's like, had Rob Holding at this point. He went, did you ever imagine that we'd be able to even get this player on a loan deal? And I was like, no. But I do think for me, the Tottenham game is when I'm going to make up my mind, because you can throw, as we've seen with Chelsea, you can throw every amount of money and buy every player you want. But if they're not going to gel with the way you want to play, it's a waste of money.
Yeah, but football isn't a Subbuteo team, is it?
Of course not.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what they are now. They're a Subbuteo team. Yeah?
I'll put this message up. Yes, I saw that he did leave the stadium at half-time.
Wow, that's awful, isn't it?
Might as well have done.
He walked out the stadium. Half-time, the game was still going and he left.
To me, that just says there's no. To me, that says that these players think they're bigger than the club. Because can you imagine someone doing that in the days of Alex Ferguson?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
He'd never play for Man United again.
No.
No, exactly.
You get a boot in the face and his paycheck on Monday. That'd be the end.
Yeah. And here's your travel home. Here's your bus fare home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree. I think we'll bring it to a close there, guys. It's been brilliant shots. Flew in again, like last Sunday. Really appreciate you both coming on, and hopefully there is more shows coming out. Actually, I don't know what shows will be coming up this week. Podcasts will be coming up this week because we've got the international break. But I'm sure we'll have some kind of material coming back out. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat, everybody watching either on Twitter or on YouTube. Really appreciate it. And Des Enforcer, thank you so much again, bro. It's really appreciate it.
Anytime.
And Aisha, thank you so much again.
No problem.
I don't mind being on with Aisha anytime you want either.
No, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just permanent fixture of the Big Sunday show from now on. So
I'm happy
it's
with
definitely there. But guys, you have been watching in the North Bank, the Big Sunday show, and we'll catch you on the next one.